So guys, Destiny 2 is not in a great spot. No surprise really, with the updates recently not being all that great, leveling still being kind of iffy. I think it's gotten a little bit better, and with bugs still plaguing the game a little bit. The game's not looking great, and Bungie hasn't really been talking too much about it, which kind of has me concerned a little bit. Now, probably they're just focused on getting the Epic Raid out, because that does come out today, and launching that in a good state, and then hopefully next week we get some kind of communication on future plans for the game. But today we're just going to be summarizing everything that's been going on with the game and giving my overall thoughts on it. So, first things first, obviously today is the launch of the Epic Raid for Desert Perpetual. So the game should see a pretty decent bump in players for those who are actually interested in playing it. Although that said, if I were to go onto Twitter right now, a lot of people don't seem all that interested at all, which isn't much of a surprise due to this raid being basically what seems to be the exact same as normal Desert Perpetual, just with maybe some more mechanics thrown in, similar to how like Destiny 1's version of hard modes raid went, which honestly I'm not too excited for. If the mechanics become like way more in-depth and interesting, then I might be down to run it a couple times, but overall the raid itself on normal mode already had some pretty decent mechanics in it, so if they throw even more complicated stuff in there, it might become a little too much. But if they go down the route of bullet sponges, then people definitely aren't going to be playing the Epic Raid at all past maybe the contest mode to get the emblem and maybe some of the exclusive loot tied behind it, because there are some new legendary weapons being added to the raid loot pool, as well as apparently a catalyst for the exotic weapon for the raid, so that's at least a little bit interesting. But once people get those, I don't know how many people are going to be willingly entering the Epic Raid based on how this day one launch of the event actually goes and how good the changes are received for that raid. That being said, generally, Destiny 2 not looking too great. As of 24 hours, apparently the peak was at 17,964 concurrent players. As of right now, if you go onto Steam charts, it is sitting at around 12,500 players and is the 100th most played game on Steam. I feel like that's the lowest it has ever been. Normally Destiny 2 sits around the top 20 or top 50. It going down to number 100, being beaten out by Russian Fishing 4, NBA 2K26, what are some other ones? Gary's Mod is beating it out. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is beating it out. A game called Beam NG Drive is also beating it out, which is just crazy that these games are beating out Destiny 2, even though Destiny 2 has been going for 10 plus years and should be in a much, much better spot than it is right now. I don't know how Bungie keeps on doing this like wave motion of like they do a good thing and then reverse that good thing and do worse, and then do good, and then do worse, and then somehow do good again, but then also do worse. Like, it's just, I don't understand it. If you're looking at the all-time charts for Destiny 2 here, it's just a constant wave. There's like no real point of consistency here, apart from it just always doing good, then doing bad, then doing somewhat good, and then doing bad. And it's just like, what are we doing? Surely at some point you would want to, like, keep on doing good and have that chart always like going up and up and up, rather than like waving constantly. It's like, what's going on? And to add on to this, apparently Destiny 2 is not even playable in certain countries anymore, which is like, what? How? Huh? What do you mean? Apparently people were like logging on if you're in like Russia, Belarus, or Kazakhstan. The game just is not playable anymore. Now, I don't really think this is a Bungie problem, because it says here that the error code says that Destiny services are no longer available where access is restricted by law. So I'm guessing these countries just instated a law where the game can't be played, or maybe it's a PlayStation thing. So I remember PlayStation, they made Helldivers 2 not playable in certain countries, but like Destiny 2's been playable in these countries, I'm guessing, since launch. So why now suddenly are they not allowed access? I'm not the most up to date on what's going on with the situation, but it is definitely a weird one at that. But the good thing is, Steam did begin to issue full refunds for Edge of Fate and the pricey Year of Prophecy Ultimate Edition, even for players well past Steam's usual 2-hour refund window. So that's at least good, but I would like to see an update on why the game's no longer playable in those select countries, because that seems a little bit odd. But yeah, not looking great overall, and I don't know how, but even when Bungie announced some pretty decent changes in this week's past TWID, Some people are still mad and upset about some of the changes coming. I believe on Twitter there was like a whole debacle going on where people were upset about the power deltas and stuff being made easier or made harder. Not 100% up to date on that, but some people were still just angry and upset about leveling and progression. I just honestly don't understand how or why, but stuff isn't looking good. And I'm really just mainly worried because I really do like the game still. Like, I'm still playing it a little bit. I haven't been playing it recently because there's been a load of other games that have come out, mainly Borderlands 4 been enjoying. Destiny Rising's been a great fun time. Hades 2 definitely has my attention, might pick up that later. And then you've got more games coming out next month in the form of the new Pokemon game, which looks pretty decent. You've got Arc Raiders as well coming out next month. And then Warframe is also dropping some pretty decent stuff next month, leading into their next like big story quest that they're doing, which has my attention 100%. So there's a lot of stuff going on with different games that has my attention, but overall, I still would like to see Destiny 2 get into a stable state. Obviously, next month we have the exotic mission coming out with the exotic axe as the main weapon from that. We then also have Festival of the Lost, which kind of has my interest due to it getting some updates in regards to some new activities to play. And if it's anything like the past Solstice event, it might be pretty decent for overall leveling and just getting some decent tier 5 rewards. Also, by looking on light.gg, the weapons that are coming from this year's Festival of the Lost do look pretty decent. And then obviously December we have the Renegades expansion, which if you saw my reaction to that expansion, I'm very excited for Renegades. It does all look very, very good with the new content that they're adding, all of the updates with the factions and all that. It all looks great. But right now, Bungie really needs to fix the main issues that are plaguing Destiny 2 right now, mainly community sentiment, overall leveling and progression changes. I don't know why certain things in the portal just aren't there. I know that in the most recent update they added like dungeons to the Pinnacle Ops, which is okay, but like it's really weirdly done. Like for, I believe it is Heaven's Vengeance. This one's really weird because rather than it just being the main boss fight, you have to go through the very long jumping puzzle to then get to the boss fight. I feel like it would have been much better to just have the boss be where you start rather than having to go through the whole jumping puzzle. Same thing for like Golron, you have to go through a jumping puzzle. Beneath the Necropolis, you basically do the entire thing other than the final boss, which is really weird because they included the final boss inside of the trailer for when they added these things to the game. So there's just some weird stuff going on with content being added. And honestly, I really hope Bungie's able to get their act together and get this stuff sorted. One of the good updates that's coming is that all these green icons that you see, the bonus engram drops, they're now finally going to be actually progressing your overall power level, because before they didn't really, they were just extra loot that didn't progress your power at all, which was really, really pointless, honestly. So that being a fix is very, very nice. But overall, I feel like Bungie needs to go through a whole, like, fresh update here for leveling, because in these newer games that I'm playing, it seems that the idea of having individual items having their own power level be assigned to them is kind of an idea of the past, honestly. Like in Borderlands 4 right now, you have your base character level, and then every item that you get is just set to that level. So once you get to level 50, just by playing through the game and doing stuff, all the items that drop are level 50, so you can use them all, rather than currently in Destiny 2, if you're trying to get to a certain level, you might be having an item like your special weapon that's just really lagging behind, and then you have to keep on grinding in the hopes of getting that certain drop. I feel like the idea of having just a general power level would be much better than farming out for these individual items, similar to how it is right now in Destiny Rising. Like you have your general level that is set to all of your characters, and then you have your individual items that you level up over time, and then those affect like your main character power. But even that is still a better system than how Destiny 2's leveling is, because Destiny 2 still is plagued by the curse of RNG being your main way of leveling, where Destiny Rising is not really focused on RNG and more just material acquisition, which is limited by the fact of it being a gacha game. That's just my thoughts on it though. Would love to know yours in the comments. There's not really anything else that I need to say in this video other than Destiny 2 is not in a very good state, and I am really, really hoping that Bungie is able to get their act together and get it all sorted in time for Renegades, because I do feel like Renegades is going to be a very, very important expansion, because it is a Star Wars themed expansion in partnership with Lucas Games, so a lot of eyes are going to be on Renegades, and if Bungie is still having these constant issues, it's not going to be looking good at all for Destiny's future. With that said though, that's all I really have to say on Destiny 2's current state right now. If anything gets worse, I'll probably make another video sharing my thoughts on it. If stuff gets better, I'll also be doing that. But as for right now, that's all I have today. If you guys have enjoyed this video, you guys want to share your thoughts in the comments down below, and be sure to do so. But with that all said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.